What up, man? Welcome to Mezzo Forte Sportz. That's right, Bar Talk with the super fans. We do that with the crew. What do we got today for this thing? We got a guy who's walking the walk down. He talks the talk. It's Coach Tosco. As always, grateful producer Crack AB, fearless host Danny B, and me, of course, your amateur hype man, super fan art. We talking sports, South Texas style. Go ahead and take it away, Dan.
Yo, welcome to Mezzo Forte Sportz, Bar Talk for super fans, coming to you live from San Antonio, Texas to your ears, providing some sports time for your free time. What up? This is your host, Danny BMD. How's everyone doing today, and how did your team do this week? So, today we have lots and lots to talk about. A lot of football happened, a lot of sports, a lot of NBA going on currently, and just a lot of sports in general. That happened over the weekend, over this new year, and it's the best time of the year. How's it going, Tosco?
Coach Tosco.
Good, Danny. I mean, it was nice to enjoy this weekend. Just sit there and watch football all Saturday, all Sunday. It was nice. It was good.
Yeah, I completely agree. How you doing, Super Hard?
Yo, what up, man? Can't complain. Spurs had a few surprise victories. Had a lot of good football to watch for over a 3-day span. It's just a shame, it's over, but we got more football coming up next weekend.
There we go.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be good.
How you doing, KKV?
Doing all right, Danny. Yeah, just hanging out and thankful for watching all that football last week. Man, there was a lot to see.
Nice. So just we're gonna go ahead and straight go into our gridiron news. So we'll start again with the big one. Yesterday, the NCAA football championship tournament did end. The championship was between the Ohio State Buckeyes and Alabama. I mean, it wasn't much of a challenge, but Bama beat them 52-24. We actually did see a lot of first rounders, first and second rounders actually playing in that game. If you could maybe agree with me, Tosco. But just like your general, overview of the game itself, the players, and just in general, just moving forward, especially Nick Saban, with his legacy still building even after all this.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Saban won his seventh championship. 6 at Alabama, 1 at LSU. I mean, it's crazy. You thought you wouldn't see that after Bear Bryant did it, but he's the one who's doing it and is going to continue doing it. He's one of those that he's going to continue. I mean, I'm sure he's celebrating today, tomorrow, maybe this weekend, but he's already, and I'm probably, giving him a lot of days there, but he's probably already planning his trips to go recruit. I was reading that his 2017 recruitment class, the kids he recruited from high school, ended up going to Alabama. That class consisted of Jerry Jeudy, who was a first-round pick for the Broncos, Henry Ruggs, who was a first-round pick for the Raiders, Devontae Smith, Najee Harris, Dylan Moses. You're talking about the top of the top guys in one recruitment class, where all these guys have won championships at Alabama. I mean, that's what you need to do. And the guy, he's an incredible worker.
Yeah.
He's one of those that he gets those championships because he really does earn them. And I mean, yeah, they recruit the best kids, and it shows. It showed last night. I was more impressed. I knew Alabama was going to win. I knew Alabama was going to dominate. But I was impressed, even watching them still. I was still impressed with the offense. The play calling, the play design was.
Yeah, that was crazy. I saw a couple of I was like,
It was,
ah.
I mean, the fact that Devontae Smith, the Maxwell Award winner, the Heisman Trophy winner, the best player in college football, knowing that he's on the offensive side, knowing that he's a guy you gotta stop, a guy you gotta double team and all that, managed to get, I don't know, 16, 15 catches, 250 some yards with 3 touchdowns. And that's that he stopped only because he broke his finger or he messed up his finger, dislocated his finger, whatever it was. And he
Yeah.
was out in the third quarter. Imagine if he would have continued playing, he probably would have hit 320 catches, 300 yards, probably 4 TDs easy. And it was all because of play design. I never seen motion destroy a defense like it did yesterday. The defense, I heard it earlier in a podcast. They had the defense and they made them look like a pretzel. They would go one way, they would go another way. They didn't know where to go. Then boom, right up the middle. And Najee Harris was a man last night. He was a beast. Nobody could stop him. There was those plays that he would run. It was a 2 yard play that he turned into a 6, 7 yard play with his effort and not stopping. I mean, it was impressive. It was impressive to see. It was impressive to watch, and knowing that a lot of those players are going to end up going to the NFL, first, second, third, fourth rounders, whatever you want to say. Um, Next year, Alabama's going to be. They're already favorites for next year to win it again. Like that's the
are
way
they
it's
still
going to be.
favored with the coaching change in the OC, offensive
Well,
coordinator?
and that's one of the things, Art, that I'm glad you brought up because
Great.
UT is looking good right now. UT was happy with what they saw last night because they're seeing all those offensive plays and they're saying that guy is coming here. Oh, it's gonna be awesome. Get ready. Get ready for those 50, 60 point games, Art. You're gonna
Damn
enjoy
straight.
those. So yeah, man. I
Yeah.
mean, it's gonna be. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be hard to replace. A guy like Steve Sarkisian, but they're gonna get another one. They'll find another one. They had Lane Kiffin before that. Lane Kiffin's now the head coach at Ole Miss. They replaced him with Sarkisian. Sarkisian's gonna go to Texas. I'm sure they'll find the next guy, and and then he's gonna end up going somewhere else in a couple of years. But yeah, man. I mean, it was total domination. I'll give you the first quarter. They were still in it, but it was so you can tell right away. Alabama just boom, 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 got on the field, boom, scored. Ohio State in the first quarter, down the field, they went, they struggled, they fought, they scratched, they clawed. We got it.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a penalty that
Yeah.
helped us out. Cool. Alabama gets the ball, boom, 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 touchdown. Ohio State gets the ball. Oh, let's go. Come on, push it. Oh, penalty. Oh, this. Oh, that. Oh, we got it. Cool. Alabama gets the ball. Boom, 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 touchdown. And it's like, God, you can't.
Yeah.
I think
You
they
It's
did.
can't
just
stop
Alabama
a team
didn't.
like that.
it's like
Alabama
it's like
didn't punt till like the end of the second quarter.
Yeah, exactly.
dude, it's
Yeah, I
like it's
mean,
like two different games. Like it's like literally two different games. Like it's like I'm playing like Madden, right? And then I'm playing like NCAA. You know,
yeah, essentially.
I mean, I mean, not like in a sense
A
of like
little
in terms
brother
of
versus
how
big
fast it
brother.
is going. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, you can say that. It's about speed. And don't get me wrong, Ohio State gets some of those guys too. Ohio State got a top 5 recruiting class. They're gonna get a top 5 recruiting class next year too. But it's just the way, not only the scheme, the play calling, but it's just the way and the mentality of Alabama going in there. And this year, their defense wasn't an elite defense. You had a couple of elite guys. You had Sertan, you had Barmore. You had a couple of guys. You got Moses that are going to be, first rounders. They're going to be
yeah.
in the first round drafted. But if you really look at it, this year wasn't the elite shutdown Alabama defense that they usually have. But the mentality that they went in knowing, thinking, we're gonna go in, stop this guy, and nobody's gonna stop us. And that's exactly what happened.
So I did just want to have a just super fan art, just kind of touch a little bit. I know you're also watching it. What do you think, man? Just kind of like your thoughts, of the game itself, and just like a couple of players and everything.
All right, you know me and my history. UT fan. Fucking excuse my language. uh, I'm not a very big Saban Alabama fan. My dad respects him, I guess, because he was under the tutelage of the great Bill Belichick, so he respects good coaches, and I give him that. And yeah, I mean, Alabama did surprise a lot of people after all the top picks they lost to the draft this past year, and they were still able to create household superstar names. Two guys of which were like in the running for the Heisman. That is pretty incredible. I'm not gonna lie. So don't
And
like Alabama, but they do persevere year in year out, and they're always gonna be. I don't know who's gonna top them. Like how many years
yeah,
are gonna stay on top? That's crazy.
and the thing about that art is that they had two guys in for the Heisman, and they should have had at least one more, and maybe two more if it weren't for injury. Najee Harris should have been up there for the Heisman, and Waddle, the other receiver, the one that played a little bit last night, number 17, he was limping around. He was his first game back after ankle surgery. He fractured his ankle, came back, and he still played last night. And he was the one that was supposed to be having the Heisman season, not Devontae Smith. And he ended up getting hurt, and
Mm.
that's when Devontae Smith came in.
Oh,
So I
oh, and
mean,
that's how you got
yeah.
his
So Waddle was supposed to be the main guy. He was supposed to be the Heisman hopeful, and he ended up getting hurt, and now he came back. So you know they're gonna lose him. They're gonna lose Smith. They're gonna lose Jones, Harris, all those guys, Leatherwood. They're all gonna go into the draft, but they'll have the quarterback that was playing at the end of the game. He was the top quarterback in his class, I believe, or number two quarterback in the high school class this year. He Bryce Young, I believe, he was a five-star quarterback that committed to Alabama. He's going to be the starter next year. So there you go. You have another five-star quarterback coming in. So we'll see how it goes.
Basically an embarrassment of riches of talent every single year. Who can compete with them and top them? I don't know, but something's gonna
Tuss.
happen soon because it's getting pretty old. Alabama's getting too pretty on top for so long. Someone's got to top
Mm.
them.
And that's an argument I heard today, Art, where it's like they're comparing college football and college basketball, and it's like during the regular season, you'd rather see college football. When it comes to the postseason, you know, uh, everybody would rather see college basketball because in college football, you already know what's going to happen. You know who's going to be there. You know who's going to. Yeah, sometimes you'll have that LSU team. You'll have the Clemson team. You have Ohio State that'll win it, that'll beat Alabama, but it's the same teams over and over at the same time. So they're the ones that are there. So and college basketball, it's you fought March Madness, Final Four. I mean, yeah, the Final Four, and you never know what could happen, and you
Mm-hmm.
have lower teams, mid-major teams that come in and beat the classic, the big dogs,
Cinderellas versus the
the
big dogs.
Cinderellas, and that's why it's a better postseason. I think college football needs to go, and this is a different topic for a different day, but they need to go and revisit that postseason because it's not at the way it is now. It's a better than what they had, but it's still not good enough. Especially with they didn't count 4 teams being so strong and continuing to stay strong even after they lose all their players.
Yeah,
So
ex-
we'll see next year.
exactly. With Alabama winning 6 out of the past 12
Yep, 6 out
championships.
of the past 12.
Moving forward, just the next one is I want to talk about is just around Peterson. The Eagles coach, after 3 years after bringing a Super Bowl to their city, was let go. Um, and
No
just kind
loyalty.
of yeah, just wondering kind of your reaction to that. Specifically, also how it affects the division. Doug Peterson is I don't think was a bad coach. I don't think that he was not. a guy that could teach players their position and execute a plan. I mean, yeah, he has his bad stuff here and there, like every coach, right? But I still think he at least a good coordinator. I'd pass the baton to you. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. That I don't think he was a bad coach. He's a good offensive mind. Uh, and yeah, they brought him. He brought them a championship. First championship in a long time, I believe. And if not, I don't think it was the first one. But uh, the thing is, though, is uh, I'm actually I'm actually glad in the sense that, and I'm glad for him, not necessarily for, because he's gone from a division. More in the sense that, you know what, he said that he didn't want to be there because he got tired of people telling him what to do and not having control over the team. And it's like, you know what, if, if that's the case, then yeah, you know what, I don't want to be here. Get somebody else to be a puppet.
Yeah.
And and it sucks because Doug Peterson came in and he put all his eggs in one basket with Carson Wentz, and I don't know what it is, man. I mean, Carson Wentz. When they drafted him, I thought he was going to be a buzz. I was wrong. He was being awesome. He took him to the playoffs. Was going to take him to the Super Bowl, and he gets hurt. And yeah, they won that Super Bowl because of Nick Foles, but after that, I don't know what happened. Yeah, maybe he has the yips. I don't know. He's not what he used to be. Yeah, he's not what he used to be, and because of that, I think that directly affected Pearson because I think Peterson, his loyalty is to Carson Wentz, but you know, when you have people upstairs, and I don't know who, right? But when you have the GM or the owner telling them, hey, you know what, this guy's not cutting it, put in the backup, put in the kid, we want to see the rookie, what can he do? And don't get me wrong, the Eagles are not a bad team. They have good players on defense. They have good players on offense. That offensive line is still good. Yeah, are they injured? Do they have injuries? Yes. But players, talent wise, they have talent. So getting rid of Peterson hinders them a lot. Uh, just in the sense that they have to start over. It's a new guy. He's gonna put in his system, his way of coaching, his new routines, and now the players have to you know uh, get in line with whatever that coach likes or does or says. And yeah, I mean, do I think it's better for the division? Yeah, of course, I'm gonna say that because you know what, it's a guy who took a team to the Super Bowl, and if we don't have him in our division, that's better for us, But hopefully they don't hire the next Belichick, and they went 7. That's not what I would want. But yeah, I mean, it sucks, but I'm actually glad that he did it. You know what? He took a stand. He voiced his opinions, and management didn't like it. It's like, well, you know what? Then that's fine. It's time to part ways. And I'm sure he's going to find a job somewhere else. And not the head coach, then he'll be a coordinator for sure until he gets another shot at the head coach. He
Yeah,
got the
and
Super Bowl already, so he's fine.
I was like, yeah, he already has a Super Bowl. I mean, if McCarthy could get, McCarthy, oh, whoa.
McCarthy, yeah.
McCarthy could, if McCarthy can get a shot, my bad. I'm sorry. Let me back it up. If what's his face from the Washington football team?
I hate that guy.
Ron Rivera?
No, oh, not no, from the Giants, from the Giants.
Oh,
Jason Garrett.
Jason Garrett. If Jason Garrett can get a job, but
I mean,
in this case, just kind of moving forward with the next question that's I know we're talking about it right before we were recording is Deshaun Jackson. So we all kind of
Sean
know.
Watson.
I'm sorry, Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson, the quarterback for the Houston Texans. So
What? So
no, I know that we we all kind of seen what's been going on. They did hire a GM. They didn't really consult him. People are arguing that you are part of the team, but that's what you are. A team. Some people make decisions, some people don't. Other people were arguing it's like, well, he is a quarterback. He's a very, very important part of that 52-man roster or whatever. Um, so should he have a say? And stuff like that. So essentially, he got a little mad. He's like, oh no, whatever. It's the same old stuff, whatever, right? He deleted the tweet, of course, right? It doesn't really matter because you can't undelete stuff on the internet. But point being, um, he asked for a trade, kind of, not really. It was one of those things. Obviously, Houston intends to keep him. I would definitely keep him. But if I was Houston and I was, what would be a good team for me to partner with? Which would benefit both, whatever. Because we're kind of talking about it. It is a large contract anyway. How you were saying, any moment that Houston eats any of that contract at any point, they already lost. But if I don't know, Hicks. I mean, it's a quarterback, man. Like it's a franchise quarterback. What do you think those go? Do you think that would be possible or no? And who the possible partner would be?
Well, I mean, I think that's hard to say. But I mean, there's teams you can narrow it down to. But first off, it would have to be a big deal. Like you said, Danny, usually when trades happen where teams eat the salary or, eat, pay for part of the contract, the teams lose because, they're paying for another player to go play on a different team. They're playing for another player to go score touchdowns on them or to go, kick their ass on the field, and usually when a team does that, it's when it's an old veteran player that we don't want. He's no good to us. He can't perform. You know what? If we send him to another team and he performs, then you know what? Good luck. You know, we'll eat 10 million, 20 million, whatever it is to get him off our team. He's a cancer. But to do it with a franchise quarterback like Deshaun Watson, if you eat money from that contract, you lost. You
Yeah,
should not be eating money from that contract when you're going to trade a prime quarterback, a prime franchise quarterback in the prime of his career, getting to maybe not even in the prime yet. He's getting to his prime of his career. You know,
Mhm.
if that team really wants him, that team's going to take the $156 million contract. The thing is, Deshaun can voice in a way. I'm on his side because it's like, you know what, maybe the player does need to have some input, some control. But at the same time, Deshaun Watson signed the paper. He's
yeah,
getting paid on market value.
yeah,
He's not getting paid less than somebody else, or if he is, he's getting paid less than the Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, and he hasn't even won a playoff game, or he won one playoff game last year. So um, he should not be complaining. He should keep his mouth shut. If he wants to have input, he can do it internally. And you know, you got your contract, get your money, go. And it's like they posted up today, posted up on Instagram. He's on his yacht, laying down on the water with a beautiful woman by his side. And
Mm.
there's without a care in the world. Go enjoy it. Whatever happens, happens. Now, you can be you can give the devil's advocate and see the other side and say, well, you know what? Like you said, Danny, he's the quarterback. He's a very important position. He needs to
He's your
have some input.
franchise.
He's your franchise, you
yeah,
know. But now the thing is okay, if you're gonna do that and you're gonna set that precedent, you got to make sure that if we're gonna do that, we're gonna go all in on whatever he says. And this is not gonna be a 1 year thing. You're gonna have to stay with him until that contract runs out. and you're gonna have to stay with them with those coaches, with those players. You already got rid of the best receiver, one of the best receivers, or the best receiver in the NFL that he had. You got rid of him because you didn't want to pay him. So you know what can he really suggest to to make it to make the team better? He knows things, but realistically, his opinions will be noted, but that's all they are. They're opinions. Um, I think Houston is not going to trade him. I think Deshaun Watson should just stay quiet, go enjoy your vacation somewhere off Mexico, off the beach of Mexico in your yacht, and and enjoy life for the next few months, and then come back with whatever team they assembled for you, and do the best you can, and win games, and that's it. If they, give your opinions. I want this coach. I want this GM. Cool. We'll take it into account, but you can't be a baby about it. It's a business. All right. And unfortunately, this league, those teams are run by businessmen. Trust me, I know. Jerry Jones has been a thorn in my side all my life. Okay. So they're run by businessmen. You have to take and do whatever they say. And if you don't like this one, you're gonna get traded to another one, and it's gonna happen the same thing over there. I don't know how many teams Danny can afford to take on a contract like that.
Seabass was talking about Miami.
Yeah,
That's
well,
the
that was
rumor.
one
Yeah.
of the things that came up where uh, he threw out there. Deshaun Watson said because on his contract he has a no trade clause, so meaning that the Texans cannot trade him without at all. And so Deshaun said, "Well, I'm willing to waive my no trade clause if you trade me to Miami." So now again, you're setting a precedent to where you're letting him dictate what you can and cannot do.
Oh no. Or he's bluffing.
Exactly.
Could be bluffing.
Well, yeah, of course, he could be bluffing, but at the same time, it's okay. Miami, first off, you know, Miami, yeah, they're a competitive team. They're there. Deshaun Watson will help a lot, but what is Miami willing to give up? Are they in win now mode? Are they going to give up at least two first round picks? Some were saying, "Oh, throw in Tua." Tua doesn't have that first round pick value anymore,
No.
especially after this season, after his 6, 7 games that he played
Yeah.
that were not great at all. Right now looking at Tua, you know, Justin Herbert is playing had is probably could be rookie of the year. You have Joe Burrow who was playing awesome until he got hurt. So those rookie quarterbacks. Even Jalen Hurts, that one game against the Saints looked a lot better than Tua in the 7 games that he played. So Tua doesn't have that first round value anymore. So even if you throw Tua in, Tua, you can't equate him to a first round pick. So, the Dolphins are going to have to give up a lot. I don't know if the Dolphins are willing to do that. You know,
Yeah.
basically, you're basically going to sell the future of the team to win in the next 2 to 3 years, you know, because if they don't win a Super Bowl from this, contracts start running out. They have to re-sign players. Some of these players that are really good, that are young, they're gonna have to re-sign, and they're gonna start running out of money. And with no draft picks because they traded them all, then
Done.
they're not gonna be able to stay. They're not gonna be able. It's gonna be like the Jaguars, from 2017,
Mm.
where they took on a lot of veteran players. They signed a lot of money. They traded some players. They got rid of some of their picks. What happened? They haven't been good for 3 years. Now they're back. They got picks. They got money, but since 2017, they haven't been competitive at all. So, you know, these are the things that you put out there, the risks you take when you do trades like that.
Now, just kind of uh, doing a little segue into our next segment, which is our hot routes. So, talking about a little bit more about playoffs. So, it's going to be our playoffs hot route. A lot of things happened this weekend, just like your top reactions. Actually, I'm going to grab your top reactions, Superfan Art. Out of the games, which one was just crazy for you?
Well, there was two that stuck out to me mainly for the outcomes. I think I was surprised. I think everybody's surprised the Seahawks lost at home. It's the Rams with like a banged up backup quarterback and the main quarterback who had like I don't know how many pins in his thumb, and Sam Darnold. What's the guy? The defense. What's his name?
Uh,
But he left. There you go. I knew I got half of his name right.
yeah,
He left, and they still were able to stop Russell Wilson. I mean, shocker on that side. And then, the Browns. Who would have thought, was the Browns that good or was Pittsburgh that bad? But like scoring in the first, like it wasn't even like a touchback. It was a touchdown with that missed hike at in the beginning for Pittsburgh. That was pretty much this is the omen right here. So those two games stuck out as like, damn, they were crazy, entertaining games to watch. Um, So yeah, it's setting up for a good, I guess, the semifinals before the actual division championships. This should be a good upcoming weekend.
yeah, and then I don't know, Tosco.
Yeah, no, and I'll give and on what Art said, I'll give two hot takes. Uh, Pittsburgh wasn't that good, and Russell Wilson isn't that good.
Dang,
So the first one, the Steelers were a
dang,
product of an easy schedule, an easy schedule along with a good defense because their
yeah,
defense is good.
yeah,
Thing is, though, when you start having injuries on the defensive side and you don't have that much depth, and then on the offensive side, you look awesome because you're playing the Bengals twice. You're playing the weak, the Chargers, and you're playing, weak teams. You're playing the NFC East, the Cowboys, the Giants, the Eagles, the Redskins. You know,
Washington football team.
the Washington football team. You look good. You're gonna look good. You know, and so I believe that's what happened. They were a product of an easier schedule. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Did they beat the Browns? I think they beat the Ravens. They beat the Ravens. I think they beat the Browns, and they beat the Titans once. Yeah, they beat the Titans, but that was a close game. They beat the Colts. All because all they did was, they scored in one quarter, all their touchdowns, all their points. Yeah, they won. But realistically, that team was flawed. It was a flawed team, and and actually they lost. I was more surprised at the fact that Ben Roethlisberger was really really bad because
yeah.
I
Those
don't
four
think Ben
picks,
Roethlisberger was the reason why they were losing.
yeah,
I think it was more play calling, but I mean Ben
but
Roethlisberger
he
was
didn't,
bad.
but he didn't help. Yeah, he didn't help.
Yeah, no.
He didn't. No,
And then Russell Wilson, and I was thinking about it, and it's like everybody
bro,
thinks Russell Wilson.
but he has no protection, bro. Who does he have?
Who who
Russell. Russell.
they they traded a first round pick to get the left tackle Dwayne Brown from the Texans. They're all pro left tackle. They trade him away, and what did the Texans do? Traded more picks away to get another left tackle. I mean, the Texans are dumb. They already had a left tackle, and they traded him. And then they're like, "Oh, we don't have a left tackle. What do we do? Let's go trade for another one." And they gave away more picks. And so Brown and Mike Potty, yeah, some of those guys are young and maybe not as good, sure, but it's Russell Wilson. Okay, Russell Wilson's supposed to make up for this. right?
Yeah.
The thing is that Russell Wilson is considered elite because Russell Wilson won a Super Bowl. And when Russell Wilson has a good defense and a good running game, well, then everything's opened up for Russell Wilson. And when you're playing crappy teams, because it turned out that, that division that was supposed to be really good, it turned out to be, well, I mean, the Niners are not really good. The Cardinals are not really good. The Rams were not really good at the beginning. Then they turned out to be pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, Russell Wilson was able to put up all these points and playing the Cowboys and he looked like the MVP and then all of a sudden we're playing the good teams and no show. He's put at an elite level because he won a Super Bowl and he has all these stats, but then when it comes time to why did the Seahawks lose? Nobody ever says Russell Wilson, but realistically, he's been bad for like the last month.
Yeah, no. Don't get me wrong, it
He
has.
hasn't been good, and that's another topic that I have for another
Oh
team.
my
We'll get to that
God.
later.
Yeah.
But Russell Wilson hasn't been good for a month and a half. And, since he's elite and, the Seahawks don't have a running game, that's their issue. Oh, their defense isn't good. That's their issue. Oh, their O-line isn't good. But what about Russell Wilson isn't good?
Dang.
I mean, we never
He's
talk
got a
about
ring.
that.
He's got a ring,
Dang.
man.
I mean, that ring was won by that defense. I will fight to the death with anybody to argue that ring was not won by Russell Wilson. That ring was won by the defense.
Legion
Can
of
you name me
Boom.
the Super Bowl MVP
Yeah.
of that Super Bowl?
What's his face?
It was not Russell Wilson,
No, it was a
and it
linebacker.
was not anybody on the offensive
That
side.
guy who did the thing
Linebacker.
with the hair.
Linebacker that's on the Browns this year,
Oh.
Malcolm Smith.
Oh wow.
Smith.
Well, yeah, he got 2 pigs or whatever.
Yeah, and that's fine. The defense did awesome. And Russell Wilson just rode their coattails. Then the next year, they made it to the Super Bowl against the Patriots. They couldn't do anything. He couldn't do anything. And then he threw the pick to lose the game at the end.
Controversy. We don't know who's
It is what it is. When you're playing good teams, that's when you start becoming that MVP. What did Aaron Rodgers do a couple of weeks ago against the Titans?
Yeah. No,
In the snow, tore it up, threw like 3 or 4 touchdowns in the snow.
Well, I mean, he plays in Wisconsin. I mean, that's his backyard of you.
But that's fine. Russell Wilson plays in Seattle. It's rainy and cold all the time. My point being is that that's where you become elite. Russell Wilson still hasn't done it.
Dang.
And, it is what it is.
All right.
Climbing the ladder.
All right, guys. So we're gonna do our hot routes. Little hot routes. So I'm actually gonna include a superfan art as well. You just need to say like a yes or no. You don't really need to get into it or whatever. But it'd be a couple hot routes. We're gonna do some hot routes playoff edition. All right. So the first hot route is Aaron Rodgers will score more than 25 points against the best defense in football. Do you take the hot route or not? We're going to start with Superfan Art.
So, is Aaron Rodgers going to score that many points against the best defense?
Yeah, so...
The offense?
No, I'm saying... No, Aaron Rodgers, he's in the offense, right?
Yeah.
For the commercials.
Yes. He is going to score more than 25 points on the current best defense in the NFL.
It's just the numbers throwing me off because 25 is not really a football number, but I get you.
Yeah. I'm just throwing I don't want to do
Okay,
30.
more than 21 points.
More than
There
21
you go.
points. There
That's
we go.
that's a
21
that's a football
points.
number.
There we go. More than 21
Speaking my
points.
language.
I will take the hot rod and say he will, just because of the amount of versatility and weapons and experience he has on his side.
Oh, nice. All right. Tosco. What about you, bro? You take the
Bosco
hot route?
approves this message.
So
Thank
Tosco
you,
will take
coach.
the hot route. I actually will also take it. I think that Aaron Rodgers is has something to show us, especially since last year was a pretty bad outing, in the playoffs. So I'll take the hot
If
routes.
this will be my hot take going forward. If Aaron Rodgers, if Green Bay doesn't win this game, then the Rams are going to the
Ooh.
Super Bowl.
Ooh.
Dang. So
Very bold.
going along with that, let's see. Tom Brady will win his conference championship, or will go to the conference championship, but not go to the Super Bowl. Do you take that hot take or not? Nice, Evan. Nice. We'll start with you, Tosco.
Yeah. Go, coach.
Bosco approves this message. He will not
Nice.
win a Super Bowl.
Ooh.
He will not
Dang.
make it to the Super Bowl.
Not making the Super
The
Bowl at
the
all. Yeah.
the team that will make it to the Super Bowl is going to be from the Green Bay Rams game. I let you go.
Dang. Super fan art.
Thank you for that, Evan. Yes, I think I agree with that too. Brady, I mean, don't get me wrong. He's turned the ship around with the Buccaneers. I mean, they got a lot of veteran talent from, getting Gronk and then Antonio Brown and then Mike Evans. They'll be good. They can win games, but can they win championships? And I agree with those. I don't think they will. And very highly likely, the winner of that Green Bay game could potentially, be in the Super Bowl. Not so much the Buccaneers and Brady.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and I personally thought, my hot take with that was that Brady was gonna actually win the Super Bowl. But just kind of, being realistic about it, it's gonna be a successful, year for Tampa Bay. They're just not gonna really see it that way because it's Brady. But I think that's exactly what's gonna happen too. Let's see
They'll still be the top team in Florida, so it doesn't matter.
the
It's not
next
real hard. Huh?
hot routes is Josh Allen. Josh Allen will have two or less picks against the Ravens. Do you take the hot route? Two or less picks. We'll do takeaways, so like fumbles, like a turnover. There we go. We'll just do turnovers. Two or
So
less
you're saying
turnovers.
so Josh Allen will have 2 turnovers against the Ravens.
Correct.
I will not take the hot route.
You will not take it. Why?
I
Mm,
think
a little more faith in
I don't think
Allen.
he's gonna turn it over.
Oh dang! At all?
The Bills are gonna win that game.
Dang! A super fan art. Talk to me.
Uh, I can't really. I mean, who can really predict how many turnovers the game's really going to have? But the Bills have been turning it up. They are determined to end that playoff drought and go all the way. Uh, so, I mean, the Ravens forcing those turnovers, that's up for debate. But realistically, the odds are probably there won't be, more than one. And who knows if it's even Allen's fault.
Like Art said, I'm not gonna say there's not gonna be any turnovers. I just don't know. I don't think Allen's gonna commit them. The thing is this: if you looked at the Baltimore Tennessee game last week, Tennessee was showed their true colors. They rely on Derrick Henry 100% of the time, and it didn't work. Baltimore just put everybody. Baltimore was playing my favorite defense. They were playing a 4-6 defense. They had everybody up. They had one safety, one deep safety. That was it, in case somebody got past. They said, you know what? The person who's gonna beat me is gonna be Lamar Jackson. I mean, I'm sorry, it's gonna be Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill is gonna beat me with his arm. And what happened? Ryan Tannehill did not show. So I think that the Bills are gonna be put in the same situation, but I think Josh Allen will be able to show up, even if they shut down Stephon Diggs. Josh Allen knows how to spread the ball around, and I think that, and with his mobility, he's going to be creating plays. Um, I think that the Bills are going to win this game. I think it's going to be close. I think that I think it's going to be close, and I think that it's going to be a good game. But I think the Bills are
And not too
Not
many turnovers.
there we go. So real quick, so I'm gonna actually transition and bring someone up on board. We're actually going to have Mr. Let me see if we can get him on. Mr. Seabass.
What's up,
Player
guys?
five.
Oh,
Player five.
he talks trash. It's Seabass, everybody.
Hey, so
Sorry I'm late, guys. Let me on. How's everyone doing?
We're
uh,
talking smack against Jacksonville.
I
Nothing
heard
else.
something about the best team in Florida. Yeah, that's a little local over there.
oh my God.
oh god, that
It's
was his bat
Brady.
signal. That was Seabass like, oh, I have to come on. There's a disturbance in the force.
Talking
there's
about my team.
there's disturbance in the sport. All right, so oh man, I gotta fix you. Fix
We
your
were on hot rods, Danny.
yeah, on
We
hot
were talking
routes.
smack about the Bills, and we defended them. Next
I was
topic.
gonna say good because the Bills are looking good right now.
Mhm.
Wait, I wasn't
Even
talking
though
Good.
I
smack
thought
on.
I actually was surprised more at the Colts being in the game. I didn't think the Colts were going to be in the game, but I was more surprised about that than the way the Bills played, even though the running game wasn't there. But I mean, the Colts have a solid ass defense, so
And they
it
did
was
have the
it.
running
Yeah, no, they did, and
the
but
Colts.
the Colts were able to hang in there, but the Bills just a better team.
Yeah, so right now we're doing hot routes, Seabass. It's kind of play football or I'm sorry, a playoff edition. So the next hot route will actually go ahead and give it to you. Um, so
Oh no!
Patrick Mahomes will score 4 touchdowns against the
Mahomes?
Browns. Mahomes.
Yeah, and
And
maybe one rushing
in
also.
the first half. No, hold on, no, no. Nah, I'm not gonna ESPN it. I'm not gonna ESPN it.
Yeah, I'll be right
Uh,
back.
Alright,
I would say, yeah, I'll definitely take that hot route. I think, especially since they are playing the Browns and they have the ability to put up points. It might be a high-scoring game to where the Chiefs do need to put up 3, 4, or 5 touchdowns. The way that the offense moves for the Chiefs is 100% through Patrick Mahomes, even on the small screens, the little toss plays where they're pretty much runs, they count as passes. So, yeah, I do see him getting 4 touchdowns, whether it's two throwing, two rushing, three throwing, one rushing, whatever. Um, I'll say I'll take the hot route.
nice. Yeah, I mean, definitely. I know it's a little bit of a hot take. Not really. I think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be a very close game. People are kind of, the Browns. They have a pretty good defense, but Mahomes. This is.
To be honest, my Mahomes in the last month or so hasn't put up that many points. Yes, they've won and everything, but they haven't been putting up 40 plus like they were averaging for a while.
But
Um,
like,
so
but
even against that, I do think he'll get 4 touchdowns this week.
yeah, exactly. And even then, I mean, he has Andy Reid, preparing for him every week or whatever. What about you, Tosco? What do you think?
Oh, Seabass, you were so close to making the correct point, but you didn't. I'm not gonna take the hot route. I don't think if 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 the Chiefs are going to win this game, Don't get me wrong, Mahomes needs to have a good game, but I think it's the running game. The running game needs to be there. Again, the Steelers were in the shootout not only because they were down 28 in the first quarter, but also because they cannot run the ball. They cannot run the ball. They cannot get into the offense. I mean, I saw Connor get the ball what, like 5 times, 8 times, the whole game. You know,
Regular season
and
problem, honestly.
no, probably. You know, you're absolutely right. But the thing is that Mahomes, and you're absolutely right, Shibas. Mahomes for since November, since November 22nd, right before Thanksgiving, when they played the Raiders, he has not had the type of games that Patrick Mahomes has. He hasn't thrown for 4 touchdowns since then. He's thrown for he's had he's thrown for more interceptions in those 6 games than he did in the first 12 games or 10 games. So uh, and he's thrown for way less yards. If the Falcons, the Saints, you know, the Broncos are holding them to lesser points and lesser yards, you know, I don't think he's gonna be able to do it against the Browns. Who, don't get me wrong, they're not the best defense, but their defense can compete. That defensive line is good. Those teams they're gonna get their defensive backs, the corners back. Uh, I think the Chiefs win the game? Yes. But do I think that Patrick Mahomes is gonna throw 4 touchdowns?
Dang.
A combo of throw and run touchdown.
The combo.
No, well, no. I think that the rushing touchdowns are gonna need to come from the running backs, or
At
those
least the
end
rushing
rounds,
touchdown.
a reverse Tyreek Hill reverse for 60 yards, something like that.
What about you, Superfan Art? What do you think? Give me a yes or no.
I'm gonna go with no. Yes, the Chiefs will win, but I don't think you know Mahomes is gonna like really blow up that scoreboard with like 4 touchdowns, crazy like Madden score. They'll win.
Dang, dang. Okay, okay. Getting risky with y'all's takes. So the next one, next hot route we're gonna take is
My bad.
the Saints
I can dig it.
have the book on Brady, meaning they'll win. Yes or no? Seabass.
All right. The Saints have the book on Brady.
Yes.
Uh, no, I won't take this hot route. I don't think they do.
Dang.
I think the Saints have played Brady a lot, but 99% of the time has been with Bill Belichick and his system, his offense. I think now with Tampa, with a lot of healthy weapons, different style of play, different coach, I don't think they have the book on Brady. Nobody does. If they did, people would have been right at the beginning of the year saying he was done and he couldn't win games or take a team to the playoffs. I think that he does have the team around him to beat the Saints. I think the Saints haven't shown that they have the best defense or that they'll keep games out or close or shut teams out. And against Brady, who is pretty much the comeback king, no, I don't think they'll have the book on them, and I don't think they'll win. I think the Bucks take it.
Let's go. Talk to me.
Well, um, see that's the Saints this year outscored the Buccaneers 72-26 in their 2 meetings. If you remember, the Buccaneers
With
started
with
off the
uh
season
with Breeze, do you
with
know?
Breeze. The both times that the Saints played the Buccaneers, they had Breeze.
Oh,
It
okay,
was the
okay.
game before Breeze got hurt.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
So, uh, so the Saints beat them twice this year, 72 to outscoring them 72-26, including the uh, the 38-3 shellacking that they took in November, which was their second meeting. Um, if
Which
you
made
remember, the
that
Buccaneers
score so disparate.
What was that?
which made the disparity in the score so great. 35 points off the bat right there.
Well, it is what it is. And the
Can I
thing
interrupt and
is,
ask? Can I interrupt and ask? Did they have a healthy Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas in those two past meetings?
uh,
Oh,
Michael
I don't know
Thomas,
about Michael Thomas.
Michael Thomas got hurt in the very first game versus the Saints in the first week of the season, and then I don't think they had him until after the Buccaneers, and so I think he played like a half a game. Alvin Kamara was
Oh,
there.
Yeah, yeah.
the point
But
being,
there's
the Saints are
absolutely
at
no
full
way to
strength
argue
this
those
week.
numbers, Tosco. But you have to remember, Mike Evans wasn't playing. Godwin was hurt. Fournette hadn't came on. It was mainly just Ronald Jones and whatever little bit Brady could do. That offense hadn't clicked like it did in the last month.
No,
So that's
and I agree. I agree. You're absolutely right. The offense is clicking a lot better.
now they're healthy
But
too.
well, I'll tell
Mike
you one
Evans makes
thing.
a big difference against that defense that doesn't have the best secondary or a good second corner.
Well, Mike Evans was there in the first game, and Mike Evans did nothing.
And Godwin was hurt.
Godwin in the first game, Godwin was there.
In the first game, Godwin was hurt, and Mike Evans wasn't playing.
In the very week 1 of the season.
I think that is when Mike Evans got hurt, wasn't it?
No,
No,
Mike
that's
Evans
when
played like
no Michael Thomas got hurt.
Michael Thomas got hurt, not Mike
Oh
Evans.
man, I am confusing Mike. Yes, that is
Yes,
true.
I was like Michael
Mike
Thomas
Evans
got hurt.
got hurt later on, like in week 4, week 5, something like that.
All right, so he did miss the second game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, yes, I think he missed the second game, and Godwin was there for the second game, and Godwin missed. I think Godwin got hurt in the first game, and he was out too.
Yeah, yeah.
I think he broke a finger or something. Either way,
Well,
um,
it's gonna
even
be a
though
way
the Buck,
better matchup this week.
I would hope so, Seabass, but I am gonna take this hot route, and I do believe the Saints are gonna beat the Bucks. Um, I think it's gonna be a close game. I think it's gonna be closer than the other two games, but at the same time, I don't know if that Buccaneer defense can stop the Saints. They haven't, and I don't know if they will. So
So just kind of your last take, Mr. Superfan Art. What do you
I
think?
will.
You're a big
Are
Drew's
we,
Was it Drew Brees fan, right?
whatever the decision is, I'm gonna say that no, Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, they'll put up a good game, but if the Saints are at full strength, and it looks like they are, and they're gonna have some more time to practice this week, of course, and though they have the home field advantage, I'd say the Saints will take it. I mean, Brady will still be good, but the Saints will take it.
Nice. So then the
State
last
Channel Showdown.
what's up?
Choke.
So then the last one is I mean Tosco kind of took it. The Rams have the best chance of beating out Green Bay and represent their conference in the Super Bowl. Hot take, yes or no? We'll start with you, Tosco.
Tosco proves its message. Um,
Steelers.
like I said, you're right. I said earlier. I think it's either going to be the Rams and the Packers who represent the uh, the NFC in the Super Bowl. I mean, that's just my opinion. I think if the Packers win, they beat the Rams, which I think they probably will.
Yeah,
I think the
yeah.
Packers will beat the Buccaneers or the Saints. Um, I think that if the Rams beat the Packers, if the Rams play good enough to beat the Packers, then the Rams can beat the Buccaneers or the Saints. Hopefully,
True that.
Aaron Donald, like our superfan Art said, Aaron Donald got hurt, and they still were getting to Russell Wilson without him. So
Because he
and
has no
the coach
line,
came out
bro.
today. Yeah, the coach came out today and said that he's gonna play. He's gonna be there. And I think they're gonna use both quarterbacks again. They're gonna use
I was
uh
gonna say who starts.
they haven't said they're gonna wait till probably the day of. But they're both of them are still gonna be available. That's what the coach said. So as long as Cam Akers was a beast last week. They ran the ball. He had over 150 yards from scrimmage.
Yeah.
I think 110 rushing. So, he was a workhorse, and they got it done. And that defense did enough. And I think that defense matches up well with either one because they have a shutdown corner, they have a beast defensive line, they can get after the quarterback, and the linebackers and the safeties are good enough to take care of the rest. And that's what makes the Rams really good. So yeah, I do believe if it's not the Packers, it's going to be the Rams. So the Rams can represent themselves in the championship.
I'm actually gonna give it to Superfan Art. What do you think?
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. The Rams have the best chance of dethroning the Packers and represent their conference in the Super Bowl. So the Rams have the best chance to go to the Super Bowl. Do you take the hot
I
route or
will.
not?
I will not take that hot route, just
Ooh,
because. Yeah, just because.
dang.
All right, with the commentary, let me speak.
Mm.
Just because Aaron Rodgers, he's done it all, seen it all, won it all. If he's got his squad on full strength, and the other side, the Rams, don't get me wrong, they got a pretty bomb defense. As just I don't know if they got enough offense to get the job done. So I'm leaning more towards the Packers on this one, buddy.
Dang, all right. So he won't take the hot route. I'm gonna pass it to you, Seabass. What do you think?
I think on this one, unfortunately, I do agree with everything Tosco said. I do think that the Rams are definitely the best team, or the ones that have the best chance to knock off the Packers and win the Super Bowl if they do make it. The reason being, yes, they have a Jalen Ramsey, that secondary that's actually pretty damn decent. And Jalen Ramsey has been shedding out hair about it. Just last week, I was pretty impressed. But at the same time, I think the Packers are going to win. I think Aaron Rodgers will go to the Super Bowl, and actually, I think the Packers might take it. Don't quote me on that. Depends on how he plays this week
Oh
too,
god, don't
or how
tell
the
the
team plays this
phenomenal
week, because
Juan.
they have to run the ball, and I think the X factor is going to be Akers. If the Green Bay defense can actually stop him, like I'm talking under 50, 60 yards the whole game, then yeah, I think they'll have a chance because they're going to have to win with the quarterback, and that's a little iffy in their current situation. But if the quarterbacks are healthy, they can run the ball. Yeah, they can beat the Packers. And if it's the Chiefs, Ravens, Bucks, Saints, whoever it is in the AFC, I'm sorry, Chiefs, Ravens, or whoever it might be in the AFC, I think they can also take them. So I
Football
will
team.
take the hot route.
There you go. Should be
No,
should be pretty good. So that's the end of our hot routes playoff edition. But it should be. We're gonna go ahead and continue these hot routes as the playoffs kind of go. Obviously a lot of games happened this weekend. This past weekend, more games happening this weekend. Um, so we'll go ahead and just kind of start with. I know we don't really have a lot of games, for NFL, or football for that matter. But give me a game of the week, Tosco.
In the playoffs this week, I mean, like you said, there's going to be uh, 4 games total. But I think the best game that's going to happen is I think it's going to be Baltimore Buffalo. I think Saturday is going to be the better of the 2 days. You're going to have the Rams, Packers, Baltimore,
Nice.
Buffalo. So I think Baltimore Buffalo is going to be the game of the week. That game, I think it's going to be an awesome game to watch. You're going to see defense, you're going to see offense, and I think that it's going to be super entertaining. But I think Buffalo's gonna take that one. So.
Nice, nice. So we're actually gonna go ahead and segue along into the NBA. I know a lot of things going on right now in the NBA. Right now, specifically, just kind of want to talk about all these postponed games. Lately, there's been a little bit more than usual in terms of them coming up pretty fast. Um, right, local teams, obviously, right, the Spurs haven't really been affected, but obviously it disrupts the entire schedule because, all the teams are trying to play or whatever. So I just kind of want to get everyone's kind of take for that. Right now we are, today's, at the very beginning of January 2021. Um, Obviously, we're still going to continue watching this into even the very next season, both seasons really in basketball and football. But just like kind of your take on everything that's going on, specifically with the game postponing and how you think it kind of affects the league itself moving forward. We'll start with you, Tosco.
Well, the NBA postponed what 2 games yesterday, and there's gonna be more. I think they also postponed a game on Sunday and one on Saturday. I mean, it's gonna be hard to keep all these players, you know, away from you know going out and going to restaurants and going here and going there, especially when they're young. They have money, they're they're in good shape, they probably think they're invincible.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and if this continues, I mean, either they're gonna have to get you know players off the street. I mean, to tell you that the 76ers, I think on Saturday, played a game with 7 players. 7 players. That's what they played with, and they almost beat the Celtics. So I mean, and they didn't have
Wow.
any of their star players. Their best player, I
So
think,
it
was
was,
Dwight Howard.
so it was like for real. So it was like what starting five and two players on the bench.
That's exactly what it was. They all played like
Jeez.
30, 40 minutes.
God, Evan,
So
get in
Same
there,
the stamina
bro.
for the Sixers.
what was that?
Evan, get in there, bro.
No. No.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, and I think that you know what? I think if that's gonna be the case, then I think they should play like that. Or you know what? Sign players. I think they should be penalized because realistically, if you know that you're not supposed to be out, if you know that whatever the case, even if you got exposed, even if it wasn't your fault, even if you weren't out at a strip club, if you weren't out at a restaurant, you weren't out, I,
But
I still I still believe that you should be penalized.
Yeah.
And what they should do is say, okay, you have 7 players on your team, you're gonna have to sign, have a minimum of 10. So you're gonna need to sign 3 players for 10-day contract. And for those 10 days, those 3 guys have to be on that team. So if your other starters get better, you can't replace them. You have to
Oh,
keep those
dang.
3 guys. You know what I'm saying? Like make it a punishment. You know why? If there's rules, why are they not following?
Yeah.
There has to be punishment. All these guys that are coming out positive, how are they coming out positive? Why are they coming out positive? What
Yeah.
happened? And once they find out, punishment. There needs to be some kind of punishment, or else they're not going to stop. It goes the same with everything here. People don't stop going out until they get it or they infect somebody and somebody dies. You know, luckily in the NBA, all these guys are in shape and they don't have any pre existing conditions and underlying conditions. So, they're probably going to be okay. But yeah, I mean, there has to be either fines or there has to be draft picks or you know what, you're going to play the next 2 weeks. You're going to play with guys off the street. That's what's going to need to happen or something, because then these teams are going to continue doing it, and you know they're not just they're the players are not going to stop.
And no one's gonna be able to even play a game. What do you think, Seabass?
Um, I think that I've always been kind of the same mindset of everything Tosco has been mentioning, that a lot of the violations that we see, or a lot of players that get sick, is because yes, they don't care, or they say, I'm gonna go out for one day. What's gonna happen? I'll go to a strip club or I'll go to a bar or whatever it might be, and they risk it for the team. But then you also have the players that go to a family gathering and they get it from a family member thinking that they're safe. And you also get right now currently in the NBA, anyone that's actually part of what you want to call the bubble, or anyone that's been screened, they are allowed to get visits from people that have been tested that have been negative, and those people can test negative and contract it on the way there, or you don't know how it might be, and then they
Yeah.
catch it. So I think
Yeah,
aside from the
it's like a
recklessness,
whole thing.
yeah, aside from the recklessness, is also the people that are getting affected trying to do things the safe way, and then we're coming into a lot of cities being on stage 5. We're expecting more waves. It's the cold weather. I think it might be
Flu
tougher
season.
for this season going forward than last season when it was more of the unknown. We didn't know what was going to happen. Now we know what's going to happen. We know that there's vaccines out there, and you got kind of like the MLB. We're going to get every single player vaccinated, and we're going to play all 162 games this year. Come on, it sounds ridiculous and unreasonable.
Yeah.
But it is a possibility that they think since there is a vaccine, it might work. As we know, there's a lot of issues with it. You need the second dose. Some don't happen or are not being treated properly as far as the doses. Whatever it might be, I think there's a lot of things that could go wrong, have been going wrong. And to think that it's not going to affect the NBA season, or like you said, Danny, the next NFL season as well, is unrealistic. So I do hope they can maybe make things stricter, kind of like Tosco was saying. Yes, find the players. Yes, make them lose picks or make them lose game time. That will make it so they take less risks, but you're still going to get the players that thought they were safe, came and maybe infected 2, 3 players in their own team, and then that next week they lose 2, 3, 4 games because of COVID, and that's going to affect the record down the stretch. That's going to affect playoff positioning, a lot of things that will put asterisks on these type of seasons. But um, is it possible to finish out the season? Yeah, we did it last year. Is it likely? I think it's less likely now than it was maybe 6 months ago.
I mean, just kind of moving along with that. I know that Kyrie Irving, we're kind of
Yeah,
talking
he
about
was
it
at a family
beforehand.
reunion. Exactly.
Yeah, so there's a lot of controversy with him. I mean, already with him, he was already a controversial person. I think the whole flat Earth thing or whatever. Um, so just yeah, I mean, it's whatever. But just moving forward, like, and he just kind of straight up disappeared. I mean, he's at a you could say legitimate championship contending team. A couple missing pieces here and there, whatever, but they are still in the East and they do have KD. Um, and Kyrie just, I guess, just doesn't. I don't know. I don't know what's really kind of going on. They did see him that he was with family. Apparently it was his father and his sister's birthday, which is it's, to each their own. But then they also saw him out about strip club, restaurants, stuff like that. Um, so it's like kind of one of those things, how like Tosco was saying, like, okay, well, why is he doing it? Nothing's happening to him. It's like, oh, just because he's a superstar, or even then, superstars want to do that themselves as well. So it's just one of those things where you just kind of have to, uh, you know,
Yes.
balance it out. So with that. But what do you think a super fan are about the whole Kyrie thing?
Uh, I'm gonna kind of blend what we were the subject before and Kyrie about cases are going up. This is not the bubble anymore like the summer.
Yeah,
Players are going on jets to different cities. They're playing, Toronto. They're not even playing in Toronto. They're playing like in Tampa. So I mean, yeah, the temptation to go out, with friends, family, or even just go to get some drinks somewhere. The temptation's high, and so I heard talks about the G League trying to play some games back with the ESPN arena in Florida.
yeah,
Maybe maybe they might try to shift back to a bubble setting, or maybe they'll just shut down for a whole month entirely until things can get sorted out. Who knows? Now, as for Kyrie going out, that was for nobody knew where he was, what he was doing. He wasn't really talking much with his teammates, or everyone was being hush hush. But then social media showing, he was actually with family and then going out clubbing. That's pretty irresponsible and kind of selfish. If your team needs you, they're losing, and you're kind of like, oh, you're just enjoying yourself, like
yeah,
nothing's happening.
yeah,
Like the league is really gonna take a step back and probably make a big example out of him and take like a lot of money in fines or something. Yeah, who knows? Maybe they'll get draft picks taken away. Any number of scenarios could happen.
I was just gonna say it was pretty selfish on his part to kind of leave his team to dry, and also make light of the current climate of this COVID era we're living in.
Yeah, just what do you think? What's your response, Tosco? What do you think about the whole Kyrie thing?
Well, Kyrie, first off, he took time away from the team. He asked for time away for personal reasons. That's why he hasn't been with the team. Then it turned out he was with family, right? Uh, and then he actually uh, turned out right before a game. This is when people didn't know if he was injured. Right at the beginning, he turned out on a Zoom call with I think the Attorney General of New York or the Mayor of New York. Let me see. It was the District Attorney from Manhattan. Uh, she was, I think, she just had
Like,
one.
just chilling or something or what?
Yeah, it was like a Zoom meeting. That she was having for whatever the reason, and she had different people on there, and Kyrie Irving was a part of it. And the thing is that was 30 minutes right before a game, and that's when people were like, "Wait, why is he not playing?" And this was on January 5th, I believe. So people were like, what's going on here? And then, uh, he it turned out that uh, he still didn't come back because of the riots that happened at the Capitol, and he's against that, so he's protesting for that. That is one of the things that's being said. I don't know how true it is, uh, but uh, but I mean, look, I understand you wanting to you're wanting to be heard and you have a voice and you have a platform. I understand that, but he's not even doing that. He's not even voicing out his opinions. He's not having the platform to speak about whatever he believes in. And for you to be doing that when you're getting paid millions and millions of dollars because, you know, oh, my feelings hurt, or oh, I don't like this, or oh, I don't like that. Like,
Or I think the
yeah,
Earth is flat.
I mean, it is what it is. And the thing is, it's like, okay, like, I'm not saying don't have those feelings and don't have those thoughts, but you know, you're getting paid. You're a professional. Be a professional and go do what you're getting paid to do. When you're done, then you can go out and be on Zoom calls and go talk and do whatever you want.
Mhm.
You're getting paid. I don't understand what this thing what he feels he's entitled to. He's not entitled to anything. Nobody here is entitled to anything. Okay? He has to go earn his keep. Okay? He won a championship what, like 10 years ago? Like, I mean,
And not by
realistically,
himself.
not by himself. And then he went to a team to go do it by himself, couldn't do it by himself. Now he's on another team and he still can't do anything. And now he doesn't want to play. And then it turned out last night that he was out partying and clubbing. Oh, so you really are not hurt for sure now, and now your feelings and your thoughts and your beliefs led you to go clubbing without a mask, by the way. So
It was his
I
way of protesting.
yeah, that's what it was. You're right, see guys. So that's what I said this before when we had that topic a few episodes ago, where Kyrie's not a franchise player. He's not. He hasn't been. He's not. He is a player that let the pressure get to him, and now he's a shadow of what he used to be. Is he still gonna have those 30, 40, 50 point nights? Sure, but now they're gonna come once in a blue moon when they could be coming every other week.
Yeah,
You know, every week,
exactly.
every other week
In the playoffs.
How
in
about
the playoffs.
how about you, Seabass? What do you think?
I mean, I feel like we said a lot about Kyrie and ragged on him a bit, uh, deservingly so. I do think it was very selfish what he's doing. I think nothing that he says lines up with what he does. I think that his career history, kind of like Tosco just went over it, paints a picture of a guy that has a lot of talent and kind of just banked on that. Didn't really put in the work or the team effort, the chemistry, the work ethic. Seems like he's just been skating by, catching in those millions of dollars, and playing basketball whenever he feels like it, whenever he's healthy. Very good. Some games disappears. A lot of other games. As far as this COVID thing, he's one of many players that are not taking it seriously, or as seriously as they should. But he's the one that's been caught the most and been in the spotlight. So I definitely hope that he turns around. Definitely doubt it. But if possible, I hope he doesn't affect this team that much because it'll be kind of awesome seeing them in the playoffs if they're playing well and healthy. Maybe they can compete, but we'll see how it goes.
Nice. So, just kind of going along with the next NBA topic. I did want to just bring up. I know Superfan Art was actually talking about it. Bring some love for the Spurs. I know. We're not doing the best. We might still get into the playoffs just because they kind of made it easy for us to do it. But um, obviously, we don't have a really bona fide superstar. We do have, a couple of really good scorers and things like that, mid range shooters left and right. But a big thing, just a big highlight so far that I know that's pretty good for the Spurs, as it does actually have six players that are averaging double digits in points. So it's actually pretty good. I know that the young ones are getting a little bit more points. The big ones, obviously, DeJounte, he went from like 8 to like now he's averaging 16 points a game, which is really good. Aldridge is Aldridge. Patty is finally, being unleashed. We needed some, Australian mate, Patty from the World Cup, instead of, yeah, exactly. Like, that Patty was just like balling, dude. So now he's finally been shooting a little bit more threes. And the big one for me, honestly, is Keldon Johnson. I mean, that guy is actually attacking the rim. I know they played the Lakers a couple times. I think they beat him once, maybe twice. Once. Yeah. He has a fire, and you know how Pop is, with like effort and stuff like that. um, so he's averaging 13. Lonnie's also averaging 13, but I think he can be a little bit more aggressive. Um, we you have obviously your picks that we did get. They're getting a couple minutes here and there. Rudy Gay sprinkled around, and Derek White still. I don't know, man. He still can't really stay healthy. Um, but really, just kind of wanted to grab everyone's opinion on how so far Spurs are doing right now. A little status quo. I'll start with you, Superfan Art.
Thank you, Dan. Uh, I mean, right now it's still a little early to tell. I mean, the Spurs haven't got their stride yet. You know, still kind of figuring out what's going to be like that solid starting lineup. Who's you know more reliable as like off of the bench kind of players. Uh, yeah, don't get me wrong. They could have had a better start. They have some surprise wins. That overtime win they had a few nights ago with the T Wolves, and then they beat the Lakers after playing them. Yeah, I mean three times
Like
in
30
like a few
times in
weeks
a week.
span. Yeah, that's not fair.
They've shown up.
Exactly. Some of them young guys they've been rising up to the challenge. It's can they get the veterans in the mix too? And I think to a certain extent, uh, they are showing up. Like I said, Patty Mills is finally being unleashed. It's just still a little early to tell, but always got to be optimistic. They still got Pop. He knows how to steer the ship and command his troops. So I mean, gotta have faith in him and and our coaches, Becky Hammond and company. They know how to get our guys in shape. As just is COVID gonna slow things down with potential games being postponed? I'm pretty sure it is, but got to be optimistic. That's all I got to say.
There we go. Well, that's good. I agree. I think we have a good system set up, even though we don't really have like I said, a bona fide star. We'll kind of get there, but at least the system is in place. What do you think, Tosco?
Well, I mean, I'll tell you one thing. They're playing better than what is expected, what was expected, in the sense because they have young guys. Honestly, if you take away Rudy Gay, Patty Mills, Aldridge, they have probably one of the youngest teams. Realistically, they don't have an old team. Um, but I think in a way it's good that all these young guys are playing. But like Art said, consistency. Yes, they beat the T Wolves in overtime, and what happened the next night? They played the T Wolves again and lost. You know, how do you go from beating a team to losing to a team? You just played them literally the night before, and now you lost. And the thing was is that they were winning that game, going into halftime, going into third quarter, they were winning, and then they lost it in the end. And it's that consistency that they need to look for. They need to find. Yeah, they beat tonight. They beat the Thunder. They beat the Lakers. They beat the Clippers. They have good wins. They do. They beat the Timberwolves. But honestly, I think uh, I think we're gonna find out more about the Spurs uh, this next month. I think we're basically halfway in the month because they don't play until Thursday, the 14th. So from Thursday till the last day in well, second to last day in January, January 30th, they have a stretch of uh, they have a stretch of 10 games, and all of them except for one are against contending teams. Okay,
Oh,
so
nice. It's gonna be a
so
good
they
indicator.
play, and it starts good, and it starts off with the Rockets. The Rockets are
Oh,
playing
dang.
lousy this year. They play the Rockets Thursday and Saturday, back to back. Those need to be wins. You know, you get those wins, especially at home, because they have a losing record at home. The Spurs are better on the road than they are at home.
Yeah.
Okay, so if they get those two wins, it starts a good little win streak to go into. They play the Blazers, the Warriors, the Mavericks. So like you're talking about top teams in the West,
Yeah.
and then they play one team from the East, and it's the Celtics. So you're talking about probably the best team or the second best team in the East. So they play good teams coming up. They play the Nuggets. They play the Pelicans again. So the Spurs, a lot is going to be answered in this next month. If they go on a losing streak, then this is where you're going to start seeing, you're going to start hearing news about them trading the older players and cutting the older players. Uh, be, that's if really if they're not in it. So this is where they're gonna separate. I think really this is how they're gonna separate and stay with the pack at the top of the West, or and when I say top, I mean the top eight, top six, or they lose and they drop out of playoff contention. But so far, I mean, like you said, there's little bright spots. They just need to put it together. And if they
Yeah.
can put it together, it'll be a competitive season. I'm not gonna say they're gonna win playoff series, but they'll be in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
They can
haven't
put up
seen
a challenge. I mean, it's still pop. They're still coached.
exactly. It's like you'll say the Patriots. Oh, the Patriots. Oh, they're playing crappy, but it's the Patriots. Why? Because they have Belichick, and he
Yeah.
can, anything can happen. And it's the
Yeah.
same thing with the Spurs. Anything can happen because they have pop. So, I think this is really gonna show, what the Spurs are about these next 2 weeks. And I think if they can be consistent, they can be a team that can compete in the West, and then we can see, what happens from then.
How about you, Bass?
Honestly, well, everything that Arturo and Tosco said is correct. One thing that Tosco said that pretty much to me rounds everything up is yes, I do think that with Pop, with the young players that are developing and hopefully playing more consistent, like we're saying, but also playing at a higher level, consistently, not just consistently getting some wins here and there. but maybe getting all of those players that you mentioned that were in the double digits. Let's see if they can do it for 30 plus games. Um, I do think that even if they get things going and even if they play well without more star power, I don't see them going far in the playoffs. The NBA is at that point to where if you're healthy and your players are not as good as the others before you got to the playoffs, you're never going to win. Um, you're not going to beat the top team. So I do hope that the Spurs kind of get some consistency going. They do get a little streak once they go in that 10 game tough streak that Tosco was talking about. If they can come out even 5-5, 6-4, I think that will speak really good for them. But can we realistically talk about, hey, are we going to be playing for a ship or are we going to be going into deep into the playoffs? I don't think it's the year for it. But definitely going to be a lot of good basketball to watch, a lot of developmental players that we can kind of bank on. And also, we can see if we can let go of some players after this year. If we have a good season and Aldridge doesn't do anything or much at all, it's time to cut him. With a lot of players, you can kind of see this season as kind of either being a developmental or a cut your losses type of season. But yeah, definitely very early in the season to talk about going deep. But um, hopefully they can get some things going. They have the coach, they have the young players, but I don't see them going over and beating the Lakers in the best of seven series.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
just
no,
yeah, go
and
ahead.
I'm sorry, Danny, but just one thing I wanted to ask Seabass to be like, well, would you rather be a team that makes it to the playoffs and maybe contends, maybe doesn't win a series, maybe wins one series and then loses in the second round, or would you rather be a team that misses the playoffs and has a better draft pick?
Um,
I,
to
I
be
don't.
honest, in the Spurs position, I would say you played for the wins, you play for the playoffs, and then you try to attract some good players. And I think depending on the draft solely and losing for it, especially in the NBA, it makes it real tough because yes, one guy can make a big difference, but if you don't get that top pick and you get the next best guy, a lot of the teams that draft 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it
Uh,
might be, these guys never pan out, and there was just a great pick that didn't do much. Instead of getting a team to the playoffs, getting all your young guys more experience, more accustomed to the better teams in the league and how to go through an actual 7 game series, I think that can benefit you more on the next season and the 2 seasons after. Unless obviously you get the number one pick and you get the top guy in the draft, type of thing, but only
Yeah,
one
no,
team
and,
competing for
and
the
I
best.
actually think that was a great answer, Seabass, because it is what you said. It depends who you are. Are you the Spurs? Are you a team that plans to contend every year? Because if you're a team like you know, the Kings or the Knicks or one of those teams, the Magic, or well, not really the Magic, 'cause they made the playoffs the last few years. The Bobcats and be like, hey, well, you know, do they rather take the draft pick because I think that they rather take the draft pick instead of trying to get that playoff experience because they don't know if they're going to keep those same players because a lot of the players they have end up getting poached out if they're good by the bigger teams and they have to restart all over again. And the Spurs are a team that you feel are going to be consistently in contention to playoffs, and you're right. You do want that playoff experience for those young kids for the next year and the year after. Go up against LeBron in the playoffs. Go up against Harden and Chris Paul and those guys in the playoffs. Kawhi, so you can see what a playoff atmosphere really is. And but yeah, no, I agree with you. That was a good answer.
All right, guys. So we're just gonna go ahead and finalize our just with the last. We're actually gonna do just a little small football question. So as you guys may know, Tom Herman was fired as a head coach from UT Austin Longhorns. Um, Obviously, we all know the cadence of the program itself, how heavy it could be in terms for your expectations and things like that, especially as a coach, especially it's football, especially it's Texas. So now, so Texas did hire. Um, also offensive coordinator from Bama. He literally just won a championship yesterday. Sarkeesian. So just kind of want to get a little small little segment, a little take of you, what you guys think. If he's gonna be a good coach, good expectations. We'll actually start with Tosco. I'm gonna end it with Art because obviously I know he is our uh, alumni. But I do want to start it with Tosco. Go ahead, man.
Well, I alluded to this earlier, because Art brought it up, but I think, after watching last night's game, you think it's a great hire. Steve Sarkisian is a guy that went through a lot. He was at one time the head coach at USC. He was been a coordinator in the NFL. I think he was even a head coach of the Falcons. I think for a year. So he's been around. He was a head coach at Washington. He was a head coach at USC, and I think I'm missing one place. I'm sure he was a head coach at Boise, maybe, or Utah.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, the point being is that he's a great offensive mind. Last night, those plays that he created were amazing. Something like I've never seen before, in the sense that he prepared for that team specifically. He hit all the weak points and he got his playmaker the ball. There was plays where he motioned uh, Devontae Smith to come from the outside in, and then he he got halfway, and then they snapped the ball, and then he went and did a bubble, did a little banana route,
yeah,
and so they can get him the ball in the open field. Now they're not expecting him. They might not. That's not a home run play. That's not a touchdown play. But they're thinking, okay, we need to get our best playmaker the ball and let him do him. And whatever he does, we'll be happy.
yeah,
And just the fact that they were able to do that and his mentality of doing that was was what won them the game. It was awesome, man. Like I said, if you're a UT fan, you're excited. But being a UT coach comes with a heavy burden. You know, you're taking that coaching position, and you know that those boosters, the administration there, they're gonna be on you. They're gonna want to see you win, and if you don't win, then you're gonna be out. It may be a year, maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years, but if you don't win, you're gonna be out. So it needs to be high expectations are already set for next year for UT, and we'll see how he does. And I think he's going to be good. I don't know. I don't know. I think the Big 12 is winnable. I just don't know if with the amount of players they're going to lose. They're going to get some good players. They got some good commitments. They got some good core. They got the number one quarterback, I think, in Texas going to UT. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes, but I think it's a good hire.
yeah. I mean, obviously Texas has Alabama. Alabama. They have a really good recruiting system already set up, right? They always get the best of the best of the best, and they sit them on
Hmm.
the bench. UT hasn't really had that type of firepower, but it still does have firepower to begin with, even if it's on its down years. Um, they say, oh, people always want to be a Longhorn, just like people in Texas want to be a Longhorn, just like people in Texas want to be a Cowboy, or whatever, in terms for the NFL and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, UT has been keeping up, kind of still, you know, with with the times now. Again, hiring that coach, and then just maybe revamping the offense a little bit. What do you think, Seabass?
I think it is a good hire. I mean, hopefully it works out. There's a lot of things that will factor into that fact. Um, but I do love the fact that Texas went with an offensive-minded coordinator as a head coach. I feel like that's something that can definitely help them out. What you said right now, Danny, is one of the things that I'm curious about the most. Seeing how successful he can be with Texas level of scouting and of recruits. Not saying that Texas has bad recruits; we probably have some of the best in the state, but nothing compared to Alabama that have the best in the country. Every single position, every single year. But I do think it's going to make Texas football fun to watch. I am very curious who his staff is going to be, who he's going to bring along. That's obviously we have to see. But I know that in Alabama, he was coaching alongside with Charlie Strong, and he talked about the Texas job. And there was a report I read that he was very excited to come to Austin, blah blah blah, and he's very hyped to come here, which is something you need for somebody coming to Texas and taking over the Longhorns football team.
Yeah.
So I like hearing that. Also, there are some rumors about his past drinking issues. Is Austin the best city for him? There's a lot
Yeah,
of
you
stuff out
see.
there.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
yeah.
but
He did have those issues back, but I think, and I'm glad you brought that up, Silas, because I think it was during a time where he was the head coach at USC,
Yeah.
and at that time USC was coming off of Pete Carroll,
Yeah.
coming off of Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, that era, and the guys that came after, right after them,
Yeah, and
and I
they
think,
were they kind of hung the university dry, and it was just one of those
yeah,
like,
in a way, and yeah, well, Pete Carroll did. He
yeah, that's
left
what I'm
them right
saying.
before the
Yeah,
sanctions, yeah,
yeah,
and it was kind of Sarkeesian was there and was like, he was left with all that burden, all that pressure, and oh, by the way, you have to win a national championship because that's what USC is doing at the time. And you know what? Like, yeah, I get it. He went to drinking and he had to. I think he had to leave. He quit. He didn't quit the job, but he had to take a leave of absence, go to rehab. And so I think it's something that it's in his past, but I think he dealt with it. He was able to see it and handle it, and I think that he's a better man now. He's better at handling his emotions, his
this stuff
yeah, those I guess cravings or those cravings is not a good word, but
like addiction
those
stuff like that. Yeah,
yeah,
just
those
your
addictions,
vices. Yeah, your
those
vices.
Vices.
vices,
Yeah.
and I think that he'll be fine in Austin. So
Um, just I know that obviously you are our alumni, our Longhorn alumni here, super fan art. Just gonna kind of get your opinion now that you did go to the national championship game, which UT unfortunately lost. Oh, we won't actually talk about that. But I mean, obviously, the energy and everything like that of just being at the school and being part of the whole program. What do you think now? There's a new era of Longhorn football and at UT.
Thank you, Dan. Well, when I first heard Tom Herman got fired, I thought, he wasn't doing that bad. He won
Yeah,
all of the bowl game appearances. His team went. I mean, they were in a pretty decent position to play for the Big 12 title most years, always falling short, of course. So he got 4 years. He didn't get him past the big. He didn't even get him to the Big 12. So now Sarkeesian. He's one of probably the most brilliant offensive minds currently today, in one of the hottest teams right now in Alabama. You saw a good example of how his play calling is this past yesterday. Uh, yeah, he's pretty much been bouncing around all of college, and there's a heavy burden at a big school like Texas. Like if you go to Notre Dame, Ohio State, USC, there is expectation for you to win now. We need
yeah,
championships now.
yeah,
We're like we're a big name school. I mean, you got 2 years to get us there now. Now,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure they'll give him the benefit of the doubt. You know, give him 4 years time, and in those 4 years, he needs to at least get to the Big 12 once. Will he sway some prospects from high school? Because
yeah.
Texas is one of like the top three, considered in one of the top three states to
To
for
recruit.
recruiting,
Yeah,
high school recruits. And always I've seen like good players get poached from Oklahoma or Alabama or Ohio, LSU. Like that guy was from Texas and he's like a receiver in like LSU.
yeah,
Why didn't
or
Texas get him?
Michigan, like what?
Exactly. Good Texas players are getting poached all over. Why isn't Texas, the University of Texas, getting these big names? Well, now we got a household name coach with a good resume. You know, exciting things are in store in the future. Maybe we'll sway some more of those top prospects. So yes, it's a smart hire. I'm very excited to see what the Texas program looks like in the next, couple of years. Uh, so yeah, very optimistic about that, man.
and
Nice.
and our and this is the second offensive uh, coach that they bring in after winning a national championship. Tom Herman, they hired him after Ohio State won the championship, beat Alabama, and they hired him. He came in.
Wait,
So
where was Tom Herman at? Ohio State?
Tom Herman was the offensive coordinator at Ohio State when Ohio State beat Alabama.
Oh,
When Ezekiel Elliott, what, 4 years ago, 5 years
yeah,
ago,
yeah, I
4 years
remember
ago,
that.
yeah. And so now Alabama beats Ohio State, and now they hired Sarkisian, the offensive coordinator from Alabama. We'll see how it goes.
And
We'll
then
see how it
Nick
goes, and
Saban in 2 years? No.
yeah, I know, right? But no, Art's right. They need that big name to keep those recruits, and he's right. And you'll see, a guy in Alabama from Texas, but it's the best guy, and he went to Alabama, and it's like, well, why didn't you stay in the state? And that's something that needs to change.
Exactly,
Oh yeah.
exactly. So,
We'll change that. Hopefully, we start winning.
exactly. Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, uh, Seabass actually lives in Austin. I gotta go. Well, I don't know how the games are gonna be, but I mean, I guess this next coming year or something.
Tailgate.
Tailgating is much better than being in the game.
Oh,
Yeah,
you can still tailgate at his house.
yeah. There we go. There we go. We'll just do that.
Don't
We'll
don't even warn him. He's gonna go to work, and you're gonna be already barbecuing in his driveway.
just get some.
It's the
Yeah,
best. I get out of work.
for
Go take
real.
a
Just get. I just want some barbecue. I just want some brisket and fajita in my life.
bring some beer too, just in case.
Yeah, spread all over.
Simón.
Alright, guys. Well, we're gonna go ahead and start wrapping it up a little bit. We'll go ahead and have Evan start initiating, just to kind of wrap up what we talked about today. Before you start, Evan, we did just do some hot routes, a playoff edition. We'll continue doing those hot routes for the next um a couple episodes. Also, some gridiron news. Go ahead, Dusko.
One thing I wanted to bring up, and I just saw this right now. Last night's championship game brought in 18.7 million viewers, the lowest it has been in almost 30 years. The
Wow.
previous low was 21.4 in 2004. This is down about more than 50% from last year. Last year there was 46 million viewers. This year
Wow.
only 18.
As a Bama,
YouTube
And
TV.
I
I
was
think
like,
that's what it is. It's
it has to be.
two
is it,
things. Alabama being good and continuing being good and knowing
yeah,
that Alabama's going to win,
what is it,
Playoff
the,
and
quality.
yeah,
people not liking the Ohio State favoritism that was out throughout the whole year.
correct.
And I think those two things, and hopefully the college committee sees this and says, you know what, we need to make a change because that's money that they're losing.
And
And it all goes back to money.
yeah, I was gonna say it all goes back to money. I mean, I can see him doing eight team, like we were talking about that 8 team, uh, payoff already. I mean, by next year. I mean, I literally can see him already doing next year. Just
I
since
hope
Maybe
so.
maybe maybe next four
having
years.
all the bowl games like distributed out like that would be cool. Like instead
and
of like the
and
major
yeah,
bowl
that
games.
post the college football postseason, it's not. It's like, yeah, you'll watch. I enjoyed more of the games before the playoff because you have teams that are that don't usually play each other, and you see
Correct.
things happen, and it's awesome, But in the playoff, you're seeing the same things over and over. You're gonna see
Yeah, it's just
Clemson
like
next year in there. You're gonna
yeah.
see Ohio State in there. You're
LSU
gonna see
some
Alabama in there.
two or three
LSU is gonna come
SEC
back. Yeah,
games. There's SEC
it's so
teams.
yeah, and
You know what?
so
You know what kind of makes that effect you just threw out a little more surprising? That record low views happened during COVID when everyone is at home and it
oh
should be like
no.
a record
It's true.
high.
More
And you
people
know
are at
what I
home.
want to see?
The first
Yeah, no,
national championship with everyone in their house and the lowest views ever. That's not
Brand
good
new
enough.
and,
YouTube TV contract.
Yeah.
oh yeah, and probably they lost a lot of viewers, and this is gonna sound weird, but they probably lost a lot of viewers to The Bachelor. You do not know how freaking
Oh
popular that show
wow!
is.
Wow! No, yeah, no.
What?
That's no. Don't get me wrong. I mean, like, television is powerful. Television is powerful, dude. That's just the way it is. You can't really control it.
Well, yeah,
You're
but
not
Uh,
you
even
don't
gonna lie.
record that. You have like a national
yeah, dude. But
championship game on TV.
yes, but it's to them the same thing. Like, oh, you can just record the game. Like, no, bro, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna watch it live.
The
No.
matchup was a turnoff. Nobody
Whatever.
wanted to see Ohio State in Alabama.
I think it was a matchup. A lot of it. I think a lot of it
The-
did have to do with the just like the fatigue. There's a lot of Bama fatigue and stuff like that. You
There were
know,
5 million people watching The Bachelor last night. 5 million, a third of what were watching the football game.
over the
Damn.
oh,
man.
and like, was it 12 million on Facebook Live? Dude,
And I was honestly, if it wasn't for Justin Fields, because I really wanted to see how he played, I might have not watched the full game. But
I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
honestly,
I'm,
after the first half, I knew Alabama was gonna win. Everybody knew Alabama.
yeah, we are. Yeah, I saw the first couple of drives. I mean, the first couple of drives were good. They're throwing
Yeah,
blows
the
at
first
each
quarter
other.
wasn't bad. Yeah, the first quarter wasn't bad.
But then it's like kind of like, oh, okay, Nick Saban, like, does not put the pedal off the gas. God, I mean, you're not really supposed to, right? But
I'm gonna say there's a reason why he's as great as he is.
yeah, but it's just like, bro, stop. Okay, understand. We all understand. But all right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and start wrapping it up. We'll finish wrapping it up. Go ahead, Evan. We'll start with the outro. And that's it for this week's episode. How's everyone doing? How'd everyone think? How'd everyone feel? So I just wanted to let you guys know, thank you so much for following us. Check us out on Facebook, Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube. Thank you to our sponsors as well. Studio 13th Day, the music provided. Also, we got Tasmagoria for all of our logos, your t-shirts if you need done. Of course, we have our F-Man Rocks Productions with Crack AV. And for any mastering, you guys take care. This is Danny BMD signing off today to everyone. Bring it home, Arturo.
Thank you, Dan. Lesson today is the sports world doesn't like no-shows. Whether you're Kyrie Irving or the entire Ohio State football team, we don't like no-shows. Remember, sports are great, but mean nothing without you, the fans. This is episode number 8, the Ocho. Until next time, folks, be cool, stay safe, and give it a
Oh, woo!
Uh,
Oh man, I gotta